Welcome back. You are watching Good Morning Namibia, and we are continuing with our conversations in the first hour of this edition of the program. Now, the Nutrition and Food Security Alliance of Namibia vision is to have resources, knowledge and motivation to ensure food security and optimal nutritional status for all persons and children in Namibia, and that everyone is well nourished. As we discuss health-related matters this morning, we take a look at nutrition and how we can maintain a healthy lifestyle. I am now joined for that by Frederica Ampolo as well as Kamone Tahoe, both from NAFSAN, which is the Nutrition and Food Security Alliance of Namibia. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
All right. I hope I pronounced your surname correctly, Carmen.
It's actually Letlahoye.
Letlahoye. I apologize for that.
No
I'm sure I'll get it right later, but is it okay if I just refer to you as Carmen?
Yes, no problem.
It's easier. All right, Carmen, please talk to us about the objectives of NAFSAN, right?
Yes.
And some of the strides it has made to achieve it.
So with NAFSAN, like you mentioned, you've basically mentioned most of what we like our vision right now.
Yeah.
But one of the things that NAFSAN really focuses on is linking community organizations with each other, especially those ones that work in the food security and nutrition department, so that these organizations can work together in, say, a specific region to achieve this nutrition, the goal that we are speaking about. And then it's to provide resources. And with the resources, it's just, on our website, we have so many resources with regards to nutrition and food security that anyone can have access to. So it's just so that we can spread more knowledge to the community and to the people, our public out there, yes. And then lastly, NAFSAN, with the sharing knowledge, we also try to reach out to different stakeholders because we're trying to link up, like I said in the beginning, different organizations. So with different stakeholders, it's from government to the private sector to civil society, so that everyone has a say in these different sectors. So we are like the umbrella body for the civil society, currently business sector also, and then the academia.
Okay.
Yes. And the strides that we've made so far is one of the things we are very proud of is the Nutrition for Health manual that we've developed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it covers vast different topics from malnutrition to food groups to food safety, and then gardening as well. And then we also have a few projects that we've done back in 2020 with the Sheikh Dwellers Federation and the Ilolo Permaculture on teaching communities in rural areas in Windhoek how to set up their own garden, and that was accompanied by nutrition awareness trainings that the nutritionist would do. And we've gone into the regions of Maheke and Autism Chupa, to be specific, also to scale up this specific project with the Sheikh Dwellers. And we've also reached out to Parliament. We've engaged them with regards to nutrition, just to get them on board as well, so that they can see the seriousness of the situation also in Namibia with regards to malnutrition. We've done quite a lot, actually. Also the policy that we are part of, the food security policy, food and nutrition security policy of Namibia. So
that's a lot. All right. Given the objectives that we just heard now, of course, talking about, if I'm to round it up, it's really just ensuring that Namibia does have good nutrition, I mean, its people. So what is nutrition that we're speaking about, though, Frederica?
So nutrition is basically just, it's a study, basically. It's a study of the food that we consume, the food and the drinks that we consume. It looks at the way at which these foods interact with our bodies. An example of this is, and basically how these nutrients impact our health. And a good example of this is how the high salt intake leads to high blood pressure.
Okay. Thank you so much for that explanation, Frederica. I really wonder, though, because for you to be able to carry out your work correctly, you mentioned the aspect of stakeholders, and I assume that some of these stakeholders vitally would involve nutritionists. Do you think we have enough of those in our country to be able to carry out this message?
yes, I would
Okay.
say we have enough.
Okay.
NAFSAN has been training nutrition students since 2018. I was
Okay.
part of the first cohorts even. And so to date, they're still training nutrition students. The only challenge is bridging that gap between the public or companies or different stakeholders and the nutritionists. It's just that we are not known out there yet. And that's why a lot of people don't know that there are nutritionists out there. Most of the nutritionists that that I know of currently don't have jobs because it's also a niche market. So not because people don't know about nutrition, it's difficult to employ a nutritionist because you won't know what's their role and all of that. So it really is also why we are creating awareness about what nutritionist do, and just in general nutrition in itself, so people can have more knowledge on it. Yes.
Now, you're mentioning right now that there is a lack of understanding or knowledge of nutritionists. Does that also mean, Frederica, that perhaps as a nation, we don't take our nutrition seriously, we don't consume the necessary foods then?
Well, I would say that because of how the world is advancing, Namibians and the world generally is trying, but many Namibians eat according to what they can afford.
Yeah.
Some Namibians eat according to whatever is available, and some really just eat to get full. But this stems back to a lack of knowledge or a lack of awareness. If you are aware of the power of food and what it does, what it can do to your body, I feel like we would consider our food options better, but people aren't aware of, the dangers and the goodness of food. So they just eat whatever it is, as long as they are eating, as long as they do get full. So yeah.
I like that you touched on the aspect of affordability, because we do know that that is critical in our country. Yesterday, in fact, I was watching a podcast on YouTube, and they mentioned, it was from South Africa, and they were mentioning how we were forced to consume pap, growing up so much. But it may sound funny, but it is because that is what is available only. So what is the stance in our country when it comes to affordability of a balanced diet?
It's actually sad that nutritious food in Namibia is so expensive. Like, honestly, also for myself, it's like you can only afford this much for yourself. Now imagine people living in poverty that can't really even afford much, but there is a way out for it. Like, even though you can't afford, say, the expensive nutritious food, which doesn't always have to be, expensive, you can always think of starting your own backyard garden. That is one way of making sure that you still get fresh fruits and vegetables, herbs, beans, if you are able to plant it. And it doesn't have to be a big space. You can have a small space and still make the best out of it. At NAFSAN, in fact, we have developed with the shack dwellers and the Lolo permaculture and a few other stakeholders a step-by-step guide on how to start your own backyard garden. So with that, you are still be able to eat a balanced diet if you even grow it yourself.
Yeah, but climate is not being very kind to us also. We've seen the lack of rainfall that affects also nutrition again. And I know it's very important also to start a healthy diet from a very young age, especially in children, to avoid issues such as malnutrition. So what is your advice then to parents to ensure that, their children get the right nutrition, even given a poverty?
All right. So I'd like to firstly say that it's important for parents to prioritize what we call the first 1,000 days of a child's life. That is the period from when the child is conceived up to the age of about 2.
Okay.
So during pregnancy, if the mother prioritizes her health and prioritizes eating nutritious foods, that means that the child will be well nourished as well. And then once the child is born, for the first 6 months, we recommend exclusive breastfeeding. This basically just means that giving breast milk and breast milk only, because it contains all the essential nutrients that the child needs at that stage. And after 6 months, we then introduce what we call complementary feeding. And this is because from 6 months onwards, breast milk alone isn't sufficient. So exclusive breastfeeding, complementary feeding, these practices are very important to ensure that our children grow up healthy, but they also help to prevent diseases and to prevent malnutrition, because at there's a certain stage where malnutrition becomes irreversible. So these things need to be treated and identified at a young stage, at a very early stage. So this is why we say within the first 1,000 days, from conception to the age of 2, let's prioritize our children's health.
Okay, so I want us now, as we're rounding up our conversation, to really establish what then constitutes a correct nutrition as advice to our viewers that are watching this morning. If I like pap, is it okay for me to consume it every day, for example? What should my diet entail every day for me to have the right nutrition?
I would start off by saying a variety.
Okay.
Not pap every day, please. There are other staples as well that you can consume, but just a variety. Keep it colorful. So from all the food groups, you have your proteins, your meat, your beans, your lentils, all of that. And then you have your carbohydrates, the pap, the rice, the bread, macaroni that you have. And then you have the fruits and your vegetables. Try to incorporate that every day, especially the vegetables, every day into your diet. And then also healthy fats. Try to incorporate healthy fats as much as possible, because as much as people want to shy away from fats, they are important for your body. It helps absorb certain vitamins into your body.
What falls under healthy fats?
Healthy fats like your olive oil, coconut oil, your seed oil.
They're expensive stuff.
They are expensive, but anchovy oil is also
okay.
A good healthy fat.
Okay.
And I know like a lot of our Namibian people, they produce it. So if they can just sell it in the markets, it would be great. Yeah. So, and also drink a lot of water. Drink as much as you can. Yeah, because a lot of people, they like their sugary drinks and all of that, but there's so much sugar in it, so we should instead try to drink more water.
Just to add to what Carmen has already said, many people link or characterize healthy eating or nutritious foods with Greek salad, broccoli, cauliflower. But let's think within the context of Namibia, Zambezi bream, traditional spinach, mutete, all of these things contain they are a powerhouse. These foods, our local foods are a powerhouse. They contain so many vitamins and so many minerals. So let's not look at the food that are sold in stores and think that those are the only nutritious foods. Nutritious foods also are literally right in our backyard. And they are at home where we come from. They are our indigenous foods.
All right. Well, ladies, that's all the time that we had for this conversation. It was a very interesting one. Thank you for educating us and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that was Frederica Amopolo as well as Carmen. They are both from NAFSAN talking to us about the essence of nutrition. We will be back with the news. Stay tuned.